I'm smoking pot, I got my dick out, and I'm thinking about you, and I'm thinking about you. I'm smoking pot, I got my dick out, and I'm thinking about you, just you.
I'm smoking pot, I got my dick out, and I'm thinking about you, thinking about you.
I'm driving along, I'm singing a song, and I got my dick out, and I'm thinking about you, I drank a six-pack, I took my pants off, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you.
I'm smoking pot.
There we go. Okay, we're in. Hey, guys. Hey, it's 8 o'clock. All right, I'm here. Hey, this is funny. Welcome. It's 8 o'clock on Sunday. We usually here on Mondays, but today we're on Sunday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's August 9th, Sunday, and I'm sitting here in the middle of a hospital. Look at that. It's pretty creepy, huh? It could have been worse. Check this out. Anyway, this is going to be a lot of fun tonight. The subject tonight is humor. In the middle of COVID times, the humor is about actually medical doctors. And everyone has jokes about that because we've all been through it, and we're happy that you're all here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I'm looking forward to bring on our guest of the night, who is always here, man around town. Say hello. Oh, look, Charlie Fish. Everyone's here. Hello, guys. Hi, Daniel. Hi, Charlie. Meanwhile, let's bring on the man of the hour. Here is the very funny Jackie, the joke man, Martin. Here we go. And he's up. Good. There you go.
You know, I finally figured out we have an audient. Charlie and Danny are an audient. You know,
That's
we
worked
have
for
to learn
me.
how to clone them. So I'll give you tonight's first joke. A guy goes in a hospital to get his leg amputated. And when he comes to, the surgeon's looking at him. The surgeon says, well, I got good news and bad news. The bad news is I amputated the wrong leg. The good news is the other leg's getting better.
It's clean. It's funny and it's clean. It's a good spot.
And I wrote a great Trump joke.
Okay, go ahead.
When did they know that Trump was going to be such a finagling fuck?
When did they know that Trump would be a finagling fuck? I don't know.
In junior high, when he bowled a 305. That's real New Jersey joke. You know, if you don't know bowling, you don't know the funny.
It's good. It works. It works for me.
You gotta know the funny. Hi, Johnny.
How are you doing? Look, what's going on over here? What's happening?
I never get to see you because you have so many meetings.
Yeah, me. What's the deal going on with you? The last time I spoke to you last week, you were in a castle.
I went down on it and came up with it. That's what happened.
Yeah, it looks like it.
We shot a mob pilot up in Amsterdam, New York, and I stayed at the craziest, greatest hotel. We all were put up there. It's called Amsterdam Castle. And it was built in 1725. Then it was wrecked in 1850, and they built it up as an armory. It was a huge armory, like a military armory. And it was huge, and they had basketball games there. And then at some point, 10, 20, 30, however many years ago, some British guy bought it and converted it into a castle. You walk in, and there is I got to send you a picture. There is a line of tables like 70 feet long, but one table width. And I'm like, this is like Louis XIV's dining room. This is the most incredible room I've ever seen.
Did you eat grandiose food as well?
No, there was no food. The only food was in-room coffee. That's why we got such a good deal, because of the pandemic. But I said, this is the craziest place I've ever seen. The guy says, yeah, this room used to be a basketball court. It looks like it was created as a castle. There are so many old pictures and paintings and so many artifacts. I'm like, this is the most amazing museum. The guy says, no, it's all crap. The guy bought it at auctions and antique shops, and none of this stuff is related to anything. It's so weird, John.
Crazy,
so
crazy.
Cool.
I did. You showed me a picture last week of where you were in, and it was really cool looking. But I was just thinking, it's so funny because you're talking about a place that you're acting like you're living like a king, and then you have to take out from Denny's like eggs, soggy eggs to go back.
If you're lucky, you know the play. I was a great mob pilot, and Paul Borghese was in it, and Lou Benaria, and both of those guys were in the Irishman.
Yeah.
And Joe D'Onofrio from Goodfellas. There's a whole bunch of us, and it was a ridiculous premise. Katerina Mikio was, and it was fun. It was really fun, and there was so many SAG rules, but we stuck to all the rules, and everything was totally on the up and up, and it was great. 4 days of shooting, and meanwhile it's a 22-minute pilot. You know how that thing goes.
Of course. It's not a hurry up and wait. Actually, I mentioned that to an actor last week. I said, hurry up and wait, and he said, no, it's just a lot of wait. There's no hurry.
Right.
A lot of wait. Sitting on a set. No one ever gets that, though. They don't get that.
Right.
That's the cool thing. Jackie, I thought you appreciate this one. A simple pun. I went to a library to get a medical book on abdominal problems, and apparently somebody ripped out the appendix. Little pun.
That's very cute. Very cute.
So this is interesting too, because I didn't know Charlie Fisher was there. I forgot to even tell him. I'm gonna put the link for Charlie Fisher. Anyone else that wants to come in and tell a joke is welcome to come in here and tell a joke. The link is going to be right there on Facebook Live, and if you want to come in, click on that and come in. We'll let you in and tell a joke. Stump us with a quick joke. We get a prize, right?
Fisher has been here every week. He
Yes.
has yet to tell a joke.
He's the stoic.
There are jokes that have gone out, have left us, and we've talked about this before. And one of the jokes that's left us is the gynecologist comes home from work, and his wife says, "Are you tired?" And he says, "I'm bushed." But now they all shave, so it doesn't work.
That Bush joke reminds me of the parrots with the three ladies with the parrots. White. I want to ask you something too. I was looking through the Jokeland archives. Guess what? The stoic Charlie Fisher is coming in. Ready?
Hi, Charlie.
There he is. There is the stoic Charlie Fisher.
Our team. Now they all shave.
What happened to Jackie? Jackie dropped out.
Ladies with the pirates, white.
There he's back. Okay, there you go. He's back there. You dropped out there a quick sec.
You tossed me off. Charlie Fisher replaced me.
No, I didn't. I'm putting on Charlie every time I put him on. Look what happens. He's feeding back because he's listening to the show. He's got to put a mute on there or something. It's amazing. By the way, Jackie, so you shot this little bit.
Almost Made. It's called Almost
Made.
Jim Glorioso wrote it, and Ronaldo, and I will learn his last name eventually. And Jim and his wife are delightful, and he's got a 13-year-old son, Leo, that wants to be a comic. And
wow.
And I broke his balls the whole time, and we had a great time. Great time.
Very fun. And people are popping in here saying, I used up all my 6 days. I called it dead.
So I'm going to tell
show.
you my new Jewish joke.
I do medical stuff. Where's the Jewish stuff come in?
I have to tell this to somebody.
You're cheating, but I'm ready.
I just found Little Red Rosenfeld.
Okay.
Is walking along, and she's on her way to her grandmother's with a basket of food, and the big bad wolf sees her. So
Wolf.
the big bad wolf runs to grandma's, and he goes in the house and eats grandma and puts on her nightie, and he gets in her bed, and Little Red Rosenfeld knocks on the door and, come in. So Little Red Rosenfeld walks in, and she says, "Booby, such big eyes you have. All the better to see you, my dear. And Booby, such big ears you have. All the better to hear you with, Booby. My granddaughter. And she said, and Booby, what a big nose you have. And the wolf says, you should talk.
I like it. I don't see it coming.
That's the first time I ever told it. But
I like it. It's a good deal.
Does the whole world know that Jewish grandmothers are booby? I guess you get that from the.
Actually, you know, it's funny you mention this. I did a Jewish group of people, and I saw the woman last night, as a matter of fact, and they call it. It's not called booby. In their real name, if I can remember this now, it was called something like Yahtzee. Oh, damn, it's gonna drive me crazy. Maybe somebody here it'll know. Shotzty. I don't know. There's a different name that they call it. By the way, Bob Rummer writes here. Oh yeah, Jews are doctors. Since when? That never happens. So
Jesus.
that's
another one. The Jewish woman's walking along in Miami Beach and she's walking down the beach and trips over a lamp, and a genie comes out and says, "Ha! You freed me. I'll give you 3 wishes." And she says, "With what? I need 3 wishes. My daughter married a doctor. My son calls twice a week."
I like it.
I read this book called Crack Jokes, it explains why there's Auschwitz jokes and why there's dead baby jokes and why there's elephant jokes and why, any of those texts, they go on in so much detail, and it's just bullshit. They're saying dead baby jokes. A baby sitting in a corner with a razor blade is red and white, and 2 weeks later, he's red, white, and green. And they're saying, obviously, this has racist overtones. And I'm like, no, it doesn't, you dumb motherfucker.
No.
Sometimes a stick is just a stick.
Yeah, that's right.
And the reason they came up with elephant jokes is because somebody made a bad joke about an elephant, and somebody said, you know what, I'll make another one. That's all.
I'm with you. I'm with you, too. Speaking of which, there's a joke like that. I got a letter from my medical results today. They said the bad news is I'm dyslexic, but the good news is that they found a big humor inside my head. That's a nice pun, too, isn't it?
That's great, man. So
we have here Daniel Miller, I think, wants to tell a joke. Remember the guy from Canada that has a urinal in his house?
Oh, my God. The black urinal.
Is it black or white? What are you, a racist?
Yeah, he's a racist. I thought it was a black urinal. Why did I think that?
I think it's a white urinal. Besides, you want to pee into something white, don't you?
No, please.
So you can see the yellow.
I'll pee into anything.
Yeah, it's white.
Oh, there you can say it is white. Okay, very good. It's what's going on, Daniel, in Canada?
Oh, not too much. I'm just hanging around the towns.
Did you get a huge storm up there as well, like we had?
Yeah, it was in Montreal mostly. Not as bad in the country where I am.
Yeah, but it comes down in different centimeters, right?
Yeah, millimeters.
Millimeters. You got a good joke for us?
Just a quick one.
What else is new?
So, a proctologist, he's in practice for 20 years, and he settled into a comfortable life. His future is secure, so he decides to fulfill his real dream and become an auto mechanic. So he enters mechanic school, and he receives his results for the first tests with a score of 200. So he's confused. He says, hi. He says to the teacher, why is my score so high? He says, well, the first part was taking the engine apart. You did that perfect. So you got 50%. The second part, you put it back together again. You did that perfect. You got another 50%. The other 100% was doing it for doing it through the tailpipe.
That's very good. I was so sure it was going to be that he circumcised the tailpipe. That's great.
You know what I like even more, though? It's funny because the way he's telling the joke, he's got that little bit of that Canadian accent going on there.
I know. I was totally entertained.
It's good. Good job. I'm gonna give you one of these. Thank you, Daniel. The guy, he's the only guy in Canada that has actually one of these things in his house. He took us with a camera and showed us his house. And the guy has a urinal, stand-up urinal in his house. It doesn't make any sense. So
fun. So
yeah.
What show are we doing where there's a black urinal somewhere, maybe in some club somewhere?
Yeah, those don't work. I don't know. I don't remember there was a show.
What's wrong with you, you fucking one?
Yeah, suddenly I'm the bad guy. You've been the dick joke king of. Come on, all right.
About the guy standing there taking a leak, and he looks over at the guy next to him, and the guy's pecker is all twisted up like a corkscrew. And he's like, Jesus Christ, that's fucking weird. And he gets done peeing. And he starts tapping his dick. And the other guy says, what are you doing? He says, I'm tapping my dick to get the last few drops out. And the other guy says, oh, I wring it out.
Speaking of dicks, there's that
And
great
who wasn't?
great joke. Guy goes to a doctor and he says, listen, doc, before I even show you my problem, he goes, you don't laugh at patients, do you? And he goes, of course not. He goes, I've been practicing 47 years. I would never laugh at anyone. I'm a professional. And he pulls down his pants and he has a penis the size of a AA battery. Half it. The doctor starts burst out laughing. And he goes, what are you laughing? He goes, no, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about something before. He goes, what can I help you with? He goes, oh, this. He goes, what's the matter? He goes, it's swollen.
I love that. One of the first jokes I heard when I was a kid, there was 3 guys that got caught by cannibals.
Okay.
And the chief says, I'll let you guys go if the lengths of your cock add up to 27.5 inches. And the first guy takes out his cock and it's 20 inches. And they figure they're all set. And the second guy takes out his cock and it's 7 inches. And they're like, oh no. And the third guy takes out his cock and luckily he has a 1/2 inch. So the cannibals let him go and they're walking away. And the other 2 guys are like, man, I can't believe you got a 1/2 inch cock. And the guy says, you're lucky I had a heart on. It's the same joke.
It's the same joke for a different perspective. Coming around the other way. It's the same thing. But it's always the same thing. Now, a guy just put in the side, left up a joke. I wish you would have just came in, click the link and come in. Let's see where we go. Here we go. I used the black. Oh, no, that's not the one. Here we go. Here it is. A patient at my daughter's medical clinic filled out a form. After the name and address, next question was nearest relative. She wrote walking distance.
That's funny.
It's funny.
That's funny. I live for stupid shit like that.
Guy goes to the doctor, and the doctor says, what's your zodiac? And the guy goes, Cancer. And he goes, what a coincidence. That's pretty dark.
That's great.
That's dark.
That's great. You know about the guy's a doctor for examination, and the doctor says, there's Mercury in Uranus. And the guy says, I'm not into astrology. He says, no, my thermometer broke off in your asshole.
which leads me to the classic joke. Guy goes in, doc sitting there with writing out a prescription to it with his nurse, and he goes, wait a minute, this is not a pen. This is a rectal thermometer. Shit, some asshole's got my pen. Classic.
My first album, 1979. I love that joke, and that's another one that bit the dust because I don't think they take rectal. Now they shoot you from 4 miles away.
Came to COVID.
Great one. I think we probably told this last week when Stewie was on, but the nurse says, doctor, the guy you just treated dropped dead on his way out the door. And the doctor says, well, go turn him around so it looks like he died on the way in.
No, that's great. I didn't hear that. No, I never heard that. You didn't tell that last week. No.
That's funny.
You don't remember. I can't remember. You got a great memory. You wind you up and you just roll. You got all this great memory.
It's all horse shit.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Doctors have batteries for dicks are the best to see you for no charge. Thank you. All right. Bye, guys. Wait, guys. If anybody wants to come in and tell a joke, I'm going to put I'll put it right here inside the live video. You could come in and tell it. Look at Jackie's yawning. He's pretty tired. What'd you do today, Jackie?
No, you know what it is? It's, some swimming all day. But my niece was over with her twins, and they're just so amazing. And you're up and down and chase them around. And I'm no spring chicken, so.
Oh,
it's great fun. But
stoic Charlie Fisher. No, you got plenty of energy. I see. You always got plenty. At least you're out. You're doing stuff. You're swimming. You're doing stuff. A lot of people are just sitting inside, hanging out.
No, I just fighting. I was, I lost weight. I was down to 186. I got to get down to 175, and I'd gotten down some. I had lost like 4 pounds. I was so thrilled. And then I went up to Amsterdam and sat in the goddamn room. You wait, and then they pick you up so you can go over to the set and wait. But they're so thrilled that I agreed to be in this thing. They're bringing me ham sandwiches and they're bringing me ice cream and pizza. And there's nothing to do. So boom, I know they thought they were doing me a favor, but of course they weren't doing me. They were doing me a favor, but they weren't doing me no favors. Yeah.
And they're just trying to take care of you. So, is this the movie going to go anywhere? Do you have any plans?
It's a pilot. It's a pilot, but the guy
Oh.
already wrote 8 episodes. If it gets picked up, it'll be exciting. We got a very major screenwriter, punch-up artist that's good friends with Ian, saw the documentary, saw our documentary and flipped, and he thinks we got a home run. And this is a guy that Hollywood's lined up to use, and he made some suggestions that Ian's going to do to adjust it.
Really?
You know, we're trying to decide whether to do the drive-in thing. We really want to take it to film festival so we can do Q&A, you know. And it's Joke Man, and it's Willie Nelson and Penn Jillette and Artie Lang and me and Grill. You know, it's good and it's entertaining and it's got a bunch of jokes in it. And you know, if you can walk away from a documentary not just enjoying it, but with some jokes to repeat, you know, it's a home run. But you know, even if he could sell it to Netflix.
I don't see any reason why not. For people
but it would be lost. It'd be lost. There is so much crap on. I don't mean crap. There's so much good stuff on there.
There's a lot of crap.
I got a line of 15, 20 things that people say you can't miss this. You got to see this. You can't miss this. We're excited. Tonight is episode 8 of Perry Mason, and it's so good. It's so goddamn good. You know, you find one.
You know what you got to do though? You got to kill a tiger.
You don't think I could kill a tiger?
I think it'd kill a tiger. But that guy came on, he killed a tiger, the whole documentary thing, and now he's in jail. You have to go kill an animal, go to jail. You'll be in good shape.
That's ridiculous. You know, remember the good old days when all you had to do was kill your wife?
Oh, is that the secret? So I got the people here. I have this picture here. I was looking at the Jackie archives. Check this out, Jackie.
Leslie West. That was at look at him. That's a great story. But he's giving the finger. That was in San Diego, California, at the Hippie Fest.
Fest.
Yeah, my friend Toby put on these shows. I hosted a few of them. I actually hosted one in Brooklyn with Wavy Gravy. You don't even know who that is. Is that
Wavy Gravy?
He was the guy at Woodstock that said, "What we have in mind is breakfast in bed for 400,000."
I've seen it on YouTube.
Oh, so great! But it was Leslie West and Mountain and the Turtles and Jack Bruce and Melanie. You know, he had like 8 or 10 acts. You know, Mitch Ryder, Felix Cavalieri, and the Rascals, and they went on. You know, and I went to the one. I didn't host the one out there, but that was out in San Diego. Leslie's great. You know, he was a huge fan of the show in like 1986. We're on in mornings, and Gary came in and said, "Hey, Howard, there's a guy on the phone that says he's Leslie West from Mountain." And of course, it's horse crap. And so Howard takes the call, and Howard starts talking to him. And I said, "Howard, I don't know Leslie West, but I'm telling you right now, that's him. I mean, you just could tell. And it was him, and he was a huge fan of the show forever. I'm sure he still is, you know. Great guy.
Giving you the classic fuck Jackie look. There you go.
There it is. I came across an old letter from Garvin's, from the weekend where I was working at Garvin's when they told me to look up Howard when I got back to New York. Okay. In 1982.
Now, just let me interrupt you here a quick second, because people told me in the past that when we start talking about comedy and these clubs, people out like Pittsburgh and other places of the country, they don't know what we're talking about. So people don't know Garvin's was a comedy club in Long Island on
Garvin's Laugh-In was a comedy club in Washington, D.C.
Oh, Garvin's, okay.
And Howard Stern had just gotten fired and was going to NBC in New York. And the guys from Garvin's told me, "Hey, you should look this guy up when you get home." Meanwhile, I have a letter that I just came across a week ago. This woman said, "We saw you at Garvin's on Friday. We brought back our friends on Saturday. We bought your 2 albums. What did you expect? And Going Ape. And here's $7 for your next album when it comes out. All our friends, we're your biggest fans. We really loved it. We thought you were great. After the show Saturday night, we wound up back at Harry's." That's the guy who owned Garvin's. "And we all got stoned. And I always thought that now that I know what's going on with you, we have a bond, because in 5th grade, she gave the finger in her class photo, like I did in 8th grade. She was, of course, a lot younger than me. So, and so I saw this and I said, here it is 40 years later. And I went and Googled her name and just on a whim sent a Xerox of the letter to the address. I just friended her on Facebook. Her name's Allison, Allyson, Allison Ward, and the picture on the top of her Facebook is her class picture with her giving the
Outta here.
What are the odds? I mean, that's 40 years ago, John.
Unbelievable. And by the way,
great.
when you said Governors, there was a club in Long Island. It's a one-nighter that was booked by Vito Lupo called Governors. I'm sorry.
I mean, Garvin's.
Garvin's. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yes.
Remember
yes,
that?
There was.
I'm looking at Garvin's because Greg is telling me, no, you're thinking of Governors. No, I was thinking there's a place called Garvin's in Long Island.
I think John Garvin was the name of a guy from Huntington, but I'm not 100% sure. But
now the Garvin's in Washington, I never worked. Believe it or not, back in the 80s, I called up, or early 90s, and I called up and spoke to the guy who was the booker. And the booker at the time, when I spoke to him, was the son of famous ventriloquist who did Farfel commercial,
Jimmy, and E-S-T-L-E-S.
Nelson.
Jimmy Nelson.
Jimmy Nelson. Very good. And Jimmy Nelson was the booker. So I called him up and said, hey, I'd love to work this club. Can I cook? You know how it is. People didn't pay attention to you. And the guy said to me, he goes, are you like Otto? I said, I'm not cleaner than that. And he goes, no, I mean, do you show up?
That's great. Those guys were so amazing. I told you this already. The first time we auditioned there, me and Eddie Murphy and Richie Minervini and Rob Bartlett drove down and auditioned, and they thought we all sucked. The one they liked the best was Bartlett, but for the most part, they thought we all sucked. They said, go home and practice and come back again sometime. But I think it was even the end of 1978. I don't think it was, my clock had actually started being a comedian. I counted from January 1979 when I first got $20 or $40 from the Rainy Night House,
Oh,
but it was funny. Years later, they said, I can't believe we didn't like you and Bartlett. And, that was so much funny. So much fun.
I have somebody here besides the stoic Charlie Fisher, who is stoic.
No.
I have Johnny Preto from Vegas. I guess he has a joke for us. Here he is, Johnny Preto. Come on in, Johnny.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Look at the sound on this guy. Hear the sound on this guy?
Wow.
Okay. Here's a guy who wakes up, right? He walks into the living room, and he's like, his wife is watching a cooking show. He's like, honey, what are you doing watching a cooking show? You can't cook. She turns around, looks at him. She says, you watch porno.
Very good. Very good. Very good.
That's it. I'm out, John.
Thank you, Johnny.
Why are you putting on that bra? You got nothing to put in it. Well, you wear shorts.
Exactly.
Same joke. That's great. Yeah. Oh, my favorite wife joke. I've told you a million times where the guy walks in and his wife is watching TV and she says, don't do it. No, you fucking idiot. Don't walk in that church. No, don't walk in that church. He says, what are you watching? She says, our wedding video.
Thank you, Johnny Fred. That's actually a great
one.
That's a great joke. Oh, totally
That's
great.
A great one.
Speaking of which, interesting. This morning, I don't know how I'm watching YouTube. I came home at 3:00 in the morning last night, and I wake up this morning like I fell asleep on the couch. I wake up and I'm like looking at YouTube, and it's on, and I was watching. I don't know. It came across my feed. Otto and George in Vegas at David Copperfield's private magic and ventriloquist museum, if you will, and they're looking because he made a shrine for Otto with his puppet in there, and then
I didn't know that. That's great.
Yeah, he took Otto's original puppet and then he made. It's a long story. I don't want to get into it, but basically Otto liked my puppet. He said, "Who made it?" And I told him who, and he couldn't afford to make it. They were $10,000 a piece at the time, and apparently David hooked them up, and they made two, and one of us in the museum and all that kind of stuff. So that's on there. I was like, "Oh man, I missed out. I remember how great he was." And all of a sudden, I said, "I wonder. Let me type in his name." I typed in YouTube, and boom, he popped up, and there was the pig roast show, and you were on it. I saw a clip of you walking into the pig room and George going, why the fuck did you leave that show? What the fuck were you thinking?
I told everybody about that show. I said it was the funniest thing because it's fucking Otto and George. And George is interviewing you. So you're talking to a dummy. So you look like a moron. But if you talk to Otto, you're ignoring George. There was no winning, but it made it perfect. I just fucking loved
It was funny.
Yeah, what are you, fucking idiot loser? Oh, that was just. I think I did it a couple times. You know, you knew it wasn't going to get across the street, but it was classic. You know,
I only saw it was just a really quick clip, but it was really funny. I could see like you were on the couch, like twisting, like which way to talk. It was hilarious. Speaking of which, we have somebody else that popped in here. His name is Yes. I guess he wants to tell a joke. Come on in, Mr. Yes. Here we go. Whose name is Yes? You know he's not a woman.
What's his name? Is that maybe it's that comic that goes, yeah.
Check it out. There you go. There's Mr. Yes.
Yes.
He is.
What's up?
How you doing? What's your real name?
JJ. I'm
Hey, JJ.
Preto's backup son.
Who's backup singer?
No. I'm Preto's backup son.
Oh, backup son. Are you really Preto's son?
Yeah, well, not his real son,
Kinda?
but no.
DNA drip down the side. Kept it in.
Well, maybe down the side.
Oh my God! There's a little kid in the background. Let me take it easy.
Oh my God.
There's
Well, I think she's downstairs, but
there's Dad of the Year.
right.
He's doing dick jokes. His kids
Actually, John just sent me this link. I didn't even know what it was, so I was like,
oh, we're looking for jokes. Any jokes,
Yeah.
especially any jokes.
I don't have
You know,
any
I
jokes
did a
here.
cameo today. A cameo.com for a guy 70 years old, and they said take it easy and make it clean because these kids are going to watch this. But they didn't say how clean. They didn't say if the kids were 8 or 12 or 15.
Yeah.
So I made it really, really clean. I'm scared the guy's going to say, I'm a Stern fan. What'd you do? Why you just send such a lame, so who knows? Is your daughter out of the room? Look, it's Woody Harrelson.
He looks it.
Yeah, she is out of the room.
All right, you got a good joke, or we'll give you one.
You can give me one.
All right. My doctor prescribed me medical marijuana and Viagra, and now I sleep hard.
I got him.
My
Kind of.
God.
That's pretty fun.
Cute.
You know that the guy has really, really bad sunburn, and he goes to the hospital, and the doctor says, "Man, your legs are so sunburned. I got to keep you here overnight." And he says to the nurse, "Give this guy 2 Viagra." And the guy's like, "2 Viagra? How's that going to help my sunburn?" He says, "It'll keep the sheets off your legs."
Somebody's calling you Michael Rappaport. Yes, how you like that?
Okay.
Huh?
Ah.
Sami Zayn from WWE. Look at that. He's got all kinds of people. You should be in showbiz. People are liking you up here all of a sudden. And here's the stoic Charlie Fisher. Where are you from? Vegas, Mr. Yes?
I am from Oregon.
Oh, Oregon. Wow. And he has teeth.
Wow.
I know, right?
What do you do in Oregon?
What do I do in Oregon? I am retired.
And at this you're a young guy to be retired.
Oh, you don't
Yeah,
look
I'm 30,
retarded. Maybe you're a little
33.
slow.
It's
33? What are you, a pot grower?
No. In the military for a while, and then I got out and got into crypto in 2014, and did all right.
That's
And
great.
it works? It really works?
It's awesome.
Yeah, it works.
And the place to retire to is Oregon.
Well, my family's all from here, so
Right.
I spent some time out in Vegas. I've been all over the country, but yeah, Oregon's pretty great. I'm thinking about moving from here because the liberal left has gotten a little crazy for me, but
Go to Texas.
it's actually a consideration.
If I had enough
I'll
money
send
to
you right
retire,
out
the
there.
last place I go is Texas. I think I'd go to Pluto where there's no COVID.
I got a 4,000 square foot house here, and if I sold this, I could get a damn mansion out there. So
Yeah, it's true.
That's true.
Well,
That's true.
there's a lot of great. But you could go to Canada. I know this house facility has a beautiful, brand new urinal built right into the living room. It's beautiful.
Hey, you wouldn't believe this town I was in, this Amsterdam, New York. Whatever was I should find out, but whatever the main industry of the town was fell out, right? And it's like there's no employment and it's a mess. There are
Really?
so many beautiful Victorian homes for sale cheap. And meanwhile, everybody's bailing out of Philadelphia and New York and Boston. Somebody with some money could go up there and buy up a bunch of those houses and make a killing, man. I don't got the money to do that, but man, you wouldn't believe it. You know how they built houses upstate, you know. Just,
Well,
Yeah.
the housing market, I'm sure, is going to take a big shit after.
I think you're right.
I mean, beginning of the year. I mean, once Trump just signed an executive order to make everyone not have to pay their rent and mortgage till at least the end of the year. But I mean, money. People got to collect their money at some point, right? Or houses are going into foreclosure.
Agree. You know what's going to fall down big
Tenants are
time?
getting fucked.
New York City. New York City real estate is going to be taken diving because all these businesses being closed this long, and even whether you pay your rent or not, there's a lot going on. The real estate's going. A lot of people are moving out. They went to the Hamptons. They went to the Summit. They went away. Nobody's coming back. They're begging people to come.
Yeah, people are left. I know they're leaving LA in droves right now. We get a lot of the fallout here in Oregon.
I got a buddy who moved up to Vermont years ago, and his wife was like, what am I going to do? I might as well do something. So she started doing real estate. And, you know, Harry buys Charlie's house and Charlie buys Eddie's house. You know, they're kind of rearranging deck chairs on a Titanic up there. And all of a sudden now, she is just making gazillions of dollars because everybody from Boston and New York wants to move to Vermont. Like she's fighting the people away. You know, you could never guess this shit, you know.
It's a great place to live. It's beautiful up there. Here's a great joke from Brian, a class. Here's a great joke. How come bathrooms in Georgia don't have urinals? Because they have pecans. That's kiddie,
Oh my
right?
God. Find them.
Actually, Peasy,
Yeah.
you may or may not remember. I was actually on your and
I knew it.
Sausage
I
Street's
knew it.
podcast way
You
back in the day. Because I was on
You
the
would,
Discovery
yes,
Channel documentary.
I knew it. You look familiar. I was like saying you were the guy that was shooting all those videos running around Afghanistan, right?
Old Afghanistan, yeah. Once upon a time.
That's right. Okay,
Those
good
days
for you. I'm glad to
are
see you healthy and well.
Definitely come and gone, fortunately. So now I get to hang out with the daughter. And,
Yeah, he was. We did a show with me and Mikey Sausage with him on. He was actually that was on Amazon, wasn't it? That special?
Oh, it's on Discovery Channel.
On Discovery. What's the name of the show?
Taking Fire.
Say again.
Taking Fire.
Taking Fire. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna check it out again if it wants to check that out. That was great. It was great. It was really cool, and it showed you, you know, in Afghanistan how they're going around and how they're working through the crowds and making it all happen. It's frightening, interesting, and elating.
Yeah, it's interesting for sure. It's a good little memorial for all the guys we lost and stuff too. So,
And
now
now
I wish I had an iPhone like when I went over to Iraq with Bo Bice. That was like, it was so scenic and colorful and informational, and the guys and the girls, the soldiers were just amazing. The spirit was like you couldn't. It didn't translate when you tried to explain to people. You know, it was unbelievable. It was really fun. You know, crazy shit.
No more Canadians on the show until Americans are allowed in. I heard like next week we're allowed to go back into Canada. That's another thing. Getting around state to state right now has been really strange. Like there's a lot of things closed, and we're trying to, you know. But back to the jokes. That's what we're here.
They're trying to keep me out of Bayville.
out of Fayetteville.
You know, I'll tell you one thing. If I
You
studied
can't pay
to
me
be
to
a
go back to Fayetteville,
gynecologist,
buddy.
huh?
You said
You can't-
Fayetteville?
Bayville.
Bayville, Long Island.
Bayville. I thought you said
Bayville, Long
Fayetteville.
Island. No. I was going to say, if I was in college studying to be a gynecologist, it wouldn't be the dog that ate my homework.
Oh man.
How's a pizza delivery guy like a gynecologist?
Oh, how?
They can smell it, but they can't eat it.
Jack, I think I heard this joke from you. A blonde walks to the doctor's office and says, "Doc, she goes, what's the problem?" She goes, "When I touch my arm, it hurts. See, it hurts right there." She goes, "I touch my leg." He goes, "Ow, it hurts there." She goes, "I touch my head. Ow, it hurts here." She goes, "I touch my ow." The doctor goes, "Your finger's broken." Did you do that?
No, it's just a great joke. It's just
like
a great joke.
Sounds like a Henny Youngman kind of joke, you know?
Yeah, oh, exactly.
That's a dad joke, dude.
Yeah, you're right about
Dad
that.
joke for
Well,
sure.
I all my jokes are dad jokes. I don't care, except they get a little naughty. Who cares, you know?
And there's nothing wrong with that.
What
Nothing wrong
about
with naughty, man?
Come on, you don't. You're a dad. You don't get good jokes. Come on, hit us up, yes.
Dude, I'm the worst with jokes.
Are you really?
The worst. What's no.
The guy goes for an examination and he says, "Doc, get your finger out of my ass and stop fucking around." And the doctor says, "That's not my finger, and I'm not fucking around."
Oh god damn it.
There you go. You hear about the guy
That actually hits home, man. That's terrible. I actually had to have a DRE in the military to do special forces, to go through the training. They actually have to stick a finger in your ass to do it. It's called a digital rectal exam.
Is that what they call it?
I gotta go all the time. 72. I go 3 times a week.
Yeah, it's terrifying, dude. Yeah, and they play it off like it's a normal thing. You know, they're like, "Hey, just drop your pants, go ahead and put your elbows on the table, and try and relax." I'm like, "Oh fuck,
Yeah.
how do you relax?" He's putting lube on his finger. Like,
It's fine.
And then
It's fine by me. I have no problem with it. I have no problem with
He
it.
tosses you the towel afterwards, and he's like, "Clean yourself off." I'm like,
I had the first one just like, I don't know, 6 months ago for the first time, really for the first time. And I am telling you, my doctor didn't even like prep me or anything. He did whatever he had to do, but I jumped. I was like, damn, it was nasty. It was really,
They put on a little lube, then they circle it just real briefly.
He's
And
wearing like a Super Bowl ring.
yeah, Super Bowl ring.
Just like the biggest fucking hands you can imagine.
That's how I go an Asian doctor.
I walked different for a couple hours. I feel like after that shit.
Couple hours.
Yeah, it was.
Stop it.
Damaged. Stop
it's
it.
fine. It's fine.
Every time I go, I think of this.
I've been really trying.
It's disgusting. It's totally disgusting. It's disgusting.
That's not so disgusting.
And that's another thing. See, he's a younger guy. Jack. You between the Voldos. I guess you're the oldest guy here. I'm the second. He'd be the third. He's the youngest out of us. Matter of fact, you said before you got this beard from going down on it and keeping it. I was like, right? I was thinking, who was it, Betty White? But I was looking though at his. Looking at he's a younger guy. He doesn't get the stuff that's coming too. Like for instance, now when you pee, you need rain boots. Those are things that you don't think about.
And who would expect it? Who would expect it?
It's a nice
stream change.
Consistent stream right now. I kind of like that.
It's sneaky though, because what happens is you look down and you piss in a regular stream, and you don't realize that you're also spraying. It's not either or. It's not either or. You're shooting a regular stream and you think you're fine, and your girlfriend's like, "What the hell did you do in there?" It's like, "No, I had a regular stream." He said, "Yeah, well, you had a sideshow going on too."
I have a sideshow going on. Actually, I have a buddy. He's only like 27, but he will not stand to pee. He sits every time.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. He says it's cleaner. I don't know.
What's her name?
Yeah, right. That's what
I would do that, except the head of my cock is always in the water.
Yeah, I have that same problem. So it's not really practical.
Hey, did I tell you the sideshow joke? I haven't talked to you in so long, John. The sideshow joke. The guy's doing a report for the local paper on the circus that came through town. He goes to the sideshow and he sees a sign that says "Strange Bedfellows," and he looks below the sign and there's a cage and there's a wolf and a sheep in the cage. And he says to the owner of the circus, he says, "And they get along?" And the circus owner says, "Yeah, for the most part." He says, "Well, what about when they don't get along?" He says, "We get another sheep."
It's good.
That's
good.
Pretty dark. That's pretty dark.
I love it. Dark is good. I love dark. Speaking of which, I came across this thing there was a question in a medical board exam. It said, fill in the blank. And it said, when a young female faints, you immediately feel her pee, and then there's a space, S, and a space. So it's P, space, S, and space. So those are answered pulse are all successful doctors today. I know you can turn it into
the rest of them are comedians.
There you go.
That's the two nuns riding on the plane, and the nun's doing a crossword. She says, the other nun, "Sister, what's a 4-letter word meaning woman that ends in UNT?" And the other nun says, "Ant." And the first nun says, "You got an eraser?"
Yeah, eraser. Great joke. Great joke. Love that joke.
Great joke.
First time I had a prostate checked, I asked the doctor, "Is it really necessary to have both your hands on my shoulders?" That's classic, too. That's a classic funny
Classic.
bit. I think you did one on one of your albums. I remember years ago. What was the last thing that went through after he stuck your finger in my ass? What was the first thing that went through my mind?
I just read this the other day.
You said it on one of your.
The doctor's fingernail.
That's
right.
Yeah. First thing last thing went through my mind is his fingernail. That's the funniest shit in the world. And I think I mentioned it before. The guy who used to do the greatest in the ass jokes with his proctology jokes was the great Dennis Wolfberg. Used to do all those great jokes.
Oh God,
loved that guy. Speaking of which, Jackie, I got here up in the sides here and part of the archive once again. Speaking of, a lot of people won't know it, but speaking of Minervini, I think I got a picture of Richie here, or I put it in the preview that came out. Oh, this one. This is the Magic Castle.
Do you know who that is?
No, I do not. It looks familiar.
That is the guy who played Howard Stern's father in Private Parts.
Ah, okay. All right.
And he's a semi-famous actor, a character actor, and he's good friends with my friend Lee Newman. And if you hadn't just pull, I'm 10 seconds after we hang up, I'll be able to tell you his name. But he's a really good guy, a really sweet guy. You know,
and here's the. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Here's the lovely. Mel.
That's Mel. Melody Bell. Michelle. Jesus Christ! I get.
These are old photos. I'm pulling these like deep out, man. These are deep.
That is the background. In the background is Spartan Stadium. That's at Michigan State University during homecoming. And that was my band, The Pillowcase. That picture, my friend Burf said, that picture, he says, I don't know what that's a picture of, but it's the most of it I've ever seen. Like, what a great caption. Great. Oh, I love those pictures. Oh,
these are great. Look at this.
Do you know who that is?
No, he's a singer. Wait. Benny.
Stand By Me. Benny King.
Right. Benny King. Okay.
Oh, I love that guy. He was.
How about this?
He was the lead singer of the Drifters.
The Drifters, yeah.
Benny King. And that's Marty. Oh, you know what? This is from the Hippie Fest. And that's Marty Markowitz, who was the, what do you call it, Brooklyn? You know, the borough president of Brooklyn. You know those signs going into Brooklyn that said, forget about it?
Yeah.
And
that's the guy?
He's the one that put up those signs. And since he's gone, they took them down, which is so stupid.
No, they were great.
Marty Markowitz, such a charming guy, such a great character, just a great character. We share a birthday, Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day. There you go. There's Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin. The Baldwin brothers used to take turns. Carol Baldwin has a cancer charity. I don't know if she's still doing it. She moved back to Syracuse, where she was originally from, with her daughter. But, you know, it's Billy Baldwin, Stephen Baldwin, Alec Baldwin, Daniel Baldwin, and they would take turns going to their mother's golf charity. You know, they'd have a golf outing, they'd have a golf outing in the summer at Nassau Country Club, and they'd also have a big gala, either at Oheka Castle or somewhere in the winter. And one of the brothers would always show up, if not two of them. And that was at one of them. And, you know, I used to get up, and I got up at the end of the golf outing and just ripped everybody's assholes off. I was so dirty and so funny. And the last words that Alec Baldwin ever said to me was he came over after I was done and hugged me. And in my ear, he said, "You are so fucking funny." And that's the last time I ever.
And he's not prudish or anything. He was pretty cool about it all.
No. He was, you know, he was.
And he was married. I think he still is married to that hot blonde. What was that blonde?
Yeah, no, but this is before. This is probably 2009 or something. It was a long time ago, you know. But he's a real sweet guy. He was really nice, you know.
And not everyone thinks that.
He got a bad rap, you know. when people are rude to you, and you're a comic. If five
Yeah.
people in a row are rude to you, and then somebody comes up and they say hello, you're like, yeah, leave me alone. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, you're a dick.
Yeah, true. I
So-
get you. I get you. How about this?
That
Kreskin?
was at the Don King roast, and guess
Really?
who was the roast master?
Don King roast? I don't
Trump.
know. Oh, really? Was it? Wow.
Yeah, and that's the amazing Kreskin and Fish.
And Fish.
Abe Vigoda.
Who everyone is saying he's still alive. He's still alive. He was great. He really was great. And Kreskin's the great. Everyone loves Kreskin.
Oh, yeah, just a character. He still lives with his mother.
How about this?
Leroy Neiman. He was at the thing too. There's a million people there. There's Abe right in the back. You see?
Yeah, see that. And then I have here also classic Willie.
Now let me see where that was. That was someplace where his pictures.
703. Jack Black.
That looks like that. I hosted a pot event, and the only way Willie would do a pot event was if it benefited both Normal, NORML, Normal, and MPP, the Marijuana Policy Project, or whatever it was called.
Really?
And the opening act was Willie, and he played with his daughter's band. His daughter's band was her and Arlo Guthrie's daughter, Kathy, and their name was Folk Uke. And Willie played with them, and I was worried about how dirty I should be.
Sure.
And so I went up and did my act, but I was a little timid. And then I introduced Folk Uke, and Amy and Kathy and Willie came up, and their opening song was "Motherfucker Got Fucked Up and Fucked Up My Life." That was the name of this. That was their hit single. "Motherfucker Got Fucked Up and Fucked." I said, I guess that was all right. Amy Nelson, they're the sweetest people in the world. I got very tight with them. They're very cool. And Willie means still. I got 3 emails from him last week. He sends me the oldest joke, sign on a whorehouse door, out to lunch, beat it. And why did you wait so long to get divorced? We wanted to wait till all the kids were dead. Here's an 85-year-old guy sending that joke. He's just so, it's just great.
What is he up to now with all of this stuff?
He's playing on the on the web, and he's doing interviews. He's raising money for charity. He's just one of the all-time great guys.
Because right now it's a really weird time. It's like anyone's available to talk to lately, because it's like this. It's a COVID thing for months. It's like you call people up, they're like, hello.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's all good times. Good times. Abe Vigoda played the part of Betty White's vagina in Golden Girls. Thank you.
That's great.
Very good.
That's so great.
All right, back to the jokes. I only got a couple of minutes here left. Anyway, we got if anybody wants to come in and try to give us a joke, we're all good. But I'll put the right here in Facebook. I'll actually place in the link if you want to come in. Come on in and say hi. There you go. We're good. Okay. It's inside the stream right now, live.
I still love the horrible jokes. The guy goes in the doctor's office, and he's got a French fry in each ear. And he's got a pancake on his head. And he says, "Doc, I don't feel very good." And the doc says, "You're just not eating right." which is just still funny. It's still funny.
Actually, it's kind of like fun. It's clean. I love it. I like all kinds of jokes. It doesn't matter if it's clean or dirty or anything. I even like the stuff that pushes the edge and makes people cringe, because sometimes you could go to an audience and you're doing stand up or whatever, and you can't make people move. You can't motivate. And sometimes you got to hit them on the head a little harder just to get the motivation.
I know you know this, but about the moth that goes into the podiatrist's office.
The light, yeah, okay. Classic.
Yeah, it's too long to go through the
whole. When it comes to doctors, though, there is so many. There's prescription jokes and doctor jokes and medical problem jokes, health issue jokes. Matter of fact, the guy in the hospital wearing an oxygen mask. Are my testicles black? Are my testicles black?
There's a nut in here. He's asking if his testicles are black. No, he's asking if his test results are black.
Black, right? Yeah, another classic joke.
You know about the doctor. The priest is dying, and he's lying in bed, and one of the guys from the congregation is there, and the priest is dying, and the priest motions for the pad and paper, and the priest writes a note, and just as he finishes writing the note, he dies. After he handed a note to the guy, the parishioner, and then at the big funeral, and the parishioner says, I watched the father pass to beyond, and he wrote his dying words on a piece of paper, and I put it in my coat, and I saved it for tonight, because I'm sure it's a message that he would want to share with the congregation. And I'm going to read it to you. And he opens the paper and it says, "You're standing on my oxygen tube, you fucking asshole."
Hey,
that's a good one. That's a good
joke. What Daniel asked here, and that's a good question. He said, "Did you actually smoke pot with Willie?"
Countless times.
What else would you say? Guy's going down on a prostitute, corn carrots and beef are coming out of his snatch. He said, "What are you, 6?" She says, "No, but the guy before you was." You've told that joke. Don't be disgusted.
It never gets old.
Great joke. All right, well, we're just coming here to the end, but I want to thank Charlie Fisher, the stoic man, hanging out in North Carolina?
Atlanta.
Close. I'm always close.
Same thing.
We went down there one time and did that great fundraiser with Charlie. Charlie's a great guy.
Great fun. Charlie, it's good to see you, man. Charlie, buy some cameo.com. Send some congratulations or some dirty jokes to your family or to your friends. You're rich.
Cameo.com/Jackie joke.
I tell John, there's like 5 or 6 of the cameos that I've done to show people as like a template. You can go on the website and click it to see what they're like, and they're all full of jokes. You can steal 30 jokes without spending a nickel. I shouldn't.
If you just want to hear some jokes.
Yeah, if you're a cheap fuck like Charlie Fisher.
Charlie's a good guy. He's first class all the way, Charlie Fisher. So you go to cameo.com/Jackie Martley. And if you want to see me, I'm at johnpz.com at JPZENT. And we want to thank you, Jackie, for coming out as always.
I always love this. Now we need to come up with our next
theme.
Our next theme. We will think about our next theme. But
it's from Ben Sound. That's right. All right, Jackie, we'll see you when? Next week.
Next Monday is fine with me.
All right, we'll take a look at Big Shark. All right, guys, it's been a fun hour. We'll catch you next week. When we come around, go to cameo.com/Jackie Markey. My name is johnpz.com, and we'll see you next week.
Goodbye, my brother.
Ciao.